Hi and welcome to Onside SA. Budge and I are going to run you through everything that's been happening, obviously starting with last one standing. Then we'll be speaking to our international pundit, Steve Bram, to find out what's going on, because we've had Champions League and we've had a lot of football. But Budge, let's start with this competition. And we had 613 going at this weekend. Yeah. And Spurs didn't take many. Spurs again.
Villa. Sunday was a bloodbath, Paul.
Yeah, Sunday was the bloodbath, but 422 went through, so 50% have gone in 2 weeks.
It was 423 went through, sorry, but when I was Man United last one. But
190
190 went out, Paul.
But that's very interesting that in 2 weeks, and this week looks no easier.
Well, Paul, when you see the best bet of the weekend does look like Everton. And they're the best bet. They look like it to me, but I don't know who anybody else. But
no chance.
We'll see. This is a tough week, Paul.
Yeah, just quickly touch on the major winning teams: Liverpool 285, Newcastle, then Arsenal and Man City. Yeah. The major outs: Tottenham, Brighton, Aston Villa, Nottingham Forest, Palace, and Steve's beloved Fulham. Yeah, What's very interesting this time around, Budge, is our situation with the ladies getting involved. It's wonderful that the more and more ladies get involved. They normally run at about 10%. Yeah. But I'm going to actually mention them, but you've got a few names.
I've got them all.
I'm going to just put my glasses on for some of them, Here we go, the ladies that entered, and thank you very much, and well done to all of you. Tina Baldani, correct me if I get your name wrong.
Hollywood,
Catherine Young, Pauline Young.
Mother and daughter in the UK.
Tennille and Montana Werners, Lawrence's two daughters. Luca Link.
Yeah, I think Luca's in Austria. Yeah.
Renee Roos, always there. Yeah. Patty Redman.
Yeah, it's Eric's wife.
Is that Eric's wife? Yeah. Oh, excellent. Is Jackie Cullen?
Yeah.
Fiona Tristman.
Yeah.
Emma Tristman.
Yeah.
Sisters?
Yeah, I think it's mother and daughter.
Okay. Yeah. Nareska Murugas.
Yeah.
Well done. Linda Potts.
Yeah.
Angela Peterson.
Yeah, she's in the Bahamas, Angela. Oh.
Ashley Berger, and the beauty queen Janice Lafferty. Yeah. Right, but who have you got on your sheet?
Right, so I've got Therese Bonza, Carla Quintus, Dora Roussos, Raquel Quintus Alexander, Milan Lavaux, Babette Hawkins, Ancilla Jackson, Linda Naka, Starlene Husson, Julia Bood, Rita Weston, Laura Delcho, the Feather Duster, Cindy Rydell, Karen Schuff, Ian Services partner, Philly and Glover from Hollywood, Kim West as well from Hollywood, Amy Herbert Lafferty, your daughter, Kelly Potts, Holly Lafferty, Michelle Botha, Shane's wife, Karen McManus, Jeanette Biscoby, Sam Cooper Bull, going well, Roger's wife, Nicola Grove, she wants to win it because Dean won the last one. I think she wants to
get some tips from him.
Get some tips from him. Chanel Mudley, always going well. Jocelyn Everett in Dubai, Kerry Everett, Sue Miller, and Blair Miller. So, ladies, thanks as always.
Thanks very much. It's always wonderful to get the girls in, and well done. Now, Budge, it was a hell of a round for some people going out on my beloved Spurs and that, but pick of the round has to be Conway Clayton.
Everton to win at Brighton.
Conway, let me get it right.
Yeah.
Everton to beat Brighton.
They were 4-1, Paul. Brilliant choice from Clayton. Sure. I was going to question it, but I don't question anybody, Paul. Clayton.
And the runners-up of the round two, Sonny Bill du Toit, a name we always see. Okay, he went for Bournemouth.
Yeah.
Denver for Mark, went for Brentford. And Chris Harito went for Man United. That was brave.
Steve, that was brave.
Steve, that was brave.
He sent me a little emoji after I sent it to him on Monday. But guys, last but not least, a lot of guys are questioning why the PDF is coming after the start of the second game, which is 5 o'clock. Guys, please, I extended the time start to 12:30 purely because of the internationals. People in the UK, the 2 hour. Yes. So guys, it's going to get to 1 o'clock. If I don't get your pick at 1 o'clock, last week I tried to phone you. If I don't get it, you will get the highest team in the league that you haven't used. So please, guys, I don't want to fight with anybody, but
so if someone hadn't done anything and they hadn't used Liverpool, they immediately use Liverpool. If they have used Liverpool, they get Arsenal.
Well, not many people have used Arsenal, so Arsenal will be the popular pick, and they're at home to Man City. But guys, I know 99% of you are fine. There are obviously problems, but if you are struggling on Saturday with kids, send your pick on Friday, Paul. But I want to get the PDF out before the start of the second.
All right. Champions League. Stevie B, how are you?
All right, okay, thank you.
Good.
Steve, a couple of games. I know you text me the Man City game that were getting beat. I only watched 10 minutes of the second half. I must have seen all the action. But I don't know, Steve, they don't look right.
No, it was a very poor first half. In fact, they didn't have a shot on target. Bruges sort of, looked dangerous themselves, but had no problem holding out. They once they were back in it, it was fine. But they really, but Bruges could have had chances themselves. So it just something isn't right. They just looked very slow. I mean, players like De Bruyne, who, look in the years that he's been their inspiration, he looked leggy. His quality of his crossing, there's just something sort of missing there at the moment. Pep, I mean, I don't think I've seen him more emotional than he was. It was. But now, as we were discussing, they find themselves in the draw on Friday. It looks like it's either Real Madrid or Bayern Munich, and they're going to have to play a huge amount better to get past either of those.
Yeah, I think it'll be Bayern Munich. Vincent Kompany's team looks written in the stars. But either way, Steve, I think they're going out.
When will we know?
Friday lunchtime is the draw for the last 32, the playoff round, and it's I think I've written it down. The 21st of February is the last 16. That's when they'll come out with a timetable, one place, whoever. And I like this idea, Steve, so you know where it's going. I know a lot of the teams, it takes out the draw for some of them, but I like this new format. These other teams at 22nd, 23rd, now they expect, don't play their own team in the last 16. No, I don't like that. But other results, I watched a cracker of a game. Aston Villa 4, Celtic 2. Arsenal with a mixed team beat Girona 2-1, and Liverpool got beat 3-2. But I saw their team. Looks like they were resting for the weekend, even the changes they made.
Yeah.
Now, Steve, two big games tonight. Tottenham, Elfsborg. Surely.
Well, look, they know what they need to do, Tottenham. And they should win. I mean, if you can't beat a Swedish team at home, with no disrespect to them, then with the players they've got, even though obviously we know, and Paul will obviously say with the injuries they've got, that I see that it's possible that Mickey van der Ven could be available for part of the game. Whether or not he wants to risk him tonight, obviously they need him in the league. But this is the big game. I mean, they after everything that's been going on, they need to win this and guarantee their place.
Yeah. Steve, last time we played a Swedish team, what happened?
Did you lose? You probably lost.
It was a long time ago. We played. I don't know who it was we played. I heard this on the Sky News. We lost last time.
Your best player is Sweden's best player, Kulusevski. I think you're cruising, Paul. Yeah. Star Bucharest, Man United. I think we need a draw. If they beat us, I think they go above us. But I think we're guaranteed in the top 8.
A draw, but that won't be an easy game. I mean, they're a tough nut to crack on Stouts or FCSB as they're now called. Yeah. And look, we don't know what's United seem to be playing better in cup competitions than they are in the league, and he has to play a strong team. There's no question, because I think they want to get through. So it's a lot of changes going on at United. Obviously, players linked with leaving, players like Garnacho. He keeps calling out Rashford, whether he's trying to get trying to get him to sort of change his attitude a bit. I don't know, but whatever's going on there, it's you think it must be a little bit unsettling for the side.
Yeah. Don't like how he's handled it. You got an asset that's worth 50 million, and you come out and say, "I'd rather play my reserve goalkeeper than him." I know he wants rid of him.
Did you watch him this morning?
Who?
Amarim.
Amarim, no.
No, he said it's there for him. He said it's there for every player. He said, go back to what I said. I never picked on Rashford. I said every player who has to get into my team has to play by the rules. And he said you've got to have your right attitude, training, everything. You can't come with a suit and a cap. And he said, I want them to be disciplined for me. He said, I'm ready to play him. I'm ready to play him. He's a top player. But he must change his ways. As soon as he changes his ways, he plays. I listened to the interview. Very interesting.
Well, he's going to have to get him back, because at the moment...
Is Garnacho going to go, Butch?
Why sell him, Paul?
Why sell him?
Now, we were apparently linked with a left back from Lecce. The last guy we signed from Italy, no one in Italy wanted him, Bologna. Now, if Inter Milan, AC Milan, Juventus don't want you, why must Man United all of a sudden want you? So I'm sick and tired of this Amarin personally. I like what he says, but I think he's done it the wrong way. You need money, Paul.
Just while we got you on the topic, got you and Steve. No corners against Fulham.
Oh, one shot on target, deflection.
That's not good enough.
Brighton at home, Paul.
Painful.
The only shot we had on target against Brighton
Yes.
was a penalty. 75,000. No, it's a joke, Paul. He's a clown. I don't care, but argue with people, you can have him.
Well, time will tell.
Time will tell.
Time will tell.
Anyway,
Let's go to
Steve, let's get on to the betting for the weekend. Steve, let's change the topic from Man United, but you're right. Yeah, Notts Forest, Brighton, two teams that got beat last weekend. Yeah. Rebound time.
Well, I don't think anybody saw the extent of that result at Bournemouth, and Forest they had chances early on, but once they went like 2 down, that was it. Look, Brighton often, as we say, play better away from home. Yeah. So I think this will be a tight game. Brighton, I think I wasn't at all surprised they lost at home to Everton, because Everton have beaten them down there before, but I've just got a feeling this will be a very low-scoring game, but I can see them maybe cancelling each other out.
Yeah, 9-10 under 2.5 goals. Steve, strangely, Brighton away from home got a better record than at home, unbeaten in the last 5. Yeah. But Notts Forest, Steve, when they don't score first, they don't win. So be a very cagey game.
A good early game for the day, for the weekend.
Early game, wake us up. But I think it'll be very tight, Steve. Totally agree. The draw looks a right bet, 26-10, but I've gone under 2.5 goals at 9-10. Under for the change. Okay. Steve, Bournemouth, Liverpool. I was on my boy Clivert last week, 3-1 to score any time. He's 7-2 to score any time against Liverpool. I'll be backing him again.
This game is tighter than 7-2, 7-10 in my book.
Yeah.
What does Steve think?
Well, I think it's obviously just based on the fact that Liverpool are sort of romping home. But I think, if Bournemouth play as they did last weekend, they're going to give them a really good game. Liverpool were able to rest a lot of their key players last night, which I think is a big advantage for them. I think Liverpool, for me, will certainly start as favourites. They're going to look at this, but they're going to have to work hard to get a result.
The only thing is, Liverpool are quite good at like intercepting the passes. They play out from the back, Bournemouth, and if they get caught, if they score first, Bournemouth, they've got a great chance. But if Liverpool, they're quick. There'll be plenty of bookings, Steve, because they're nippy, those boys. But I'm obviously hoping for a Bournemouth win. But 3-1 Clivert to score. Doesn't miss a penalty. Every week he scores, Paul. Yeah. So that's my bet for the weekend.
Okay,
but
so
obviously
good game.
hard to look past Liverpool. Everton, Leicester, Steve. This is the pick of the weekend, I think, for most of the last one standing people. Yeah, do you agree?
They both beat Spurs.
I mean, exactly. After losing 7 in a row, Leicester, they go to Tottenham and get a result. Like Everton, going to look at this and think this is another opportunity for them to pull away. Yeah. Under David Moyes, they've had a couple of good results, and I think they'll be favourites. I think it'll be close, but I fancy Everton. I think Everton will win and keep a clean sheet.
Yeah, I fancy Everton too. I just think their work rate's a lot higher. They get stuck in. Spurs, they had the Thursday night game. They did back off. I wouldn't say show them too much respect, but I just think Everton's back four is a lot better than Spurs. And they won't concede 2 goals after half time like Spurs did. But I'm all over Everton. I think they'll win, and I think 7-10 is not a bad price. The big game of the weekend for me is Ipswich-Southampton, Steve. I've watched Southampton the last couple of games. They've improved. I know they haven't got the results. I think they may be able to cause an upset here.
This is a good game.
Look, I think you're right. They've certainly played better in the last 3 games, but they still lost all 3. Sure. And they're in a position where no team has ever survived. With so few points, Ipswich are going to look at this and think this is the game they have to win.
Agree,
I mean, because if they don't, they're obviously still in that bottom 3. I think Ipswich will win, but I think there'll be goals. I think both teams have got to go for it. Southampton now, draws aren't any good to them. They have to go for it. Ipswich, the same. So I think it should be an entertaining game with goals. For me, if I had to pick a winner, I probably would go with the home side.
Yeah, I agree with you, Steve. It's just that the pressure's on them. The pressure's not off Southampton. Over 2.5 goals, both teams to score, is 11-10. I think that's one of the best bet of the weekends. Newcastle, Fulham, Steve. Can you cause an upset up there?
I would. In all honesty, I would be very surprised. I just think that I think they were pretty despondent after last week. But Newcastle bounced back after that defeat from Bournemouth, and I think the players they've got with Isak in form, I just think they're a little bit too strong. I'd love for us to to get something. Even a draw would be a great result, but I just think Newcastle would be too strong.
Yeah, that was Man United playing almost to get a corner. Little anything else. The bet is every week with Newcastle. Even money, Isak to score any time. That's a suggestion. On to our second page in a big game, Steve. I watched Aston Villa last night against Celtic. They are woeful at the back. I know Wolves are as well. Goals is a certainty here, but can Wolves cause an upset?
Well, again, Wolves have got to start getting some results. Obviously, you had that game against sort of Arsenal was quite sort of controversial. Yeah. I think they could hold them. Villa don't, as we know, they don't tend to do well the week after a Champions League game. Yeah. And Wolves have got to start putting results together. Villa for me are the better of the sides, but I think Wolves can hold them.
Definitely.
Yeah.
Definitely.
Well, it's bookings in a red card. The 11 at 10 I saw was at 4.5 bookings. That's my suggestion. I'm waiting for the odds on the red card. This is going to be feisty as always. Wolves are desperate.
What's the red card story? Bournemouth against Liverpool.
Let me up 4-1, Paul.
For a red card?
Red card.
No. How many yellows? Sorry.
I think it was 3.5, Paul. 7 to 10 now.
That's a good
It alters every day, Paul,
yeah,
but
that's a good bet.
When I do my bet Saturday morning, that's when they tend to upgrade it. But for me, this is a red card game of the week. It's going to be feisty, guaranteed. Bookings and a yellow card. Brentford, Tottenham, Paul, what do you think?
Tough game. Brentford at home, tight little track. Tottenham, depends how they do this week and tonight. Very hard game. When we play well, we can beat anybody. But if you look at the form and the fields and the teams at the moment, they've got to be favourite.
Yeah, I fancy Brentford, Paul, purely because of what I've seen at the back from Spurs. The tight pitch won't suit you.
Well, we might have one or two back in the back.
But I think your main mission's a League Cup in midweek, Paul. So I think that's what Ange. Play a few tonight, play a few on Saturday, have them already.
Brentford favourite.
11 to 10 Brentford all day for me. Man United, Palace, Steve. What do you think?
Yeah, well, look, Palace have been made very hard to beat away from home. Yeah. United have been woeful at home in the league.
Yeah,
as bad for 30 years or whatever it is. So, look, United have got to play a strong side tonight. It depends whether or not they're a little bit leggy, but Palace will have a go. They're gonna, they've won up there before. I think they're going to make it difficult. I can see Palace holding United at the very least. Yeah, it
wouldn't surprise me. Unbeaten in 7 away from home. Palace scoring 12, conceding 5. They're organised at the back. They play the 3 centre halves, the system United are trying to play.
Yes.
But their wing backs are a lot better, and Eze's a difference. We've got Bruno who's struggling. Eze. They've got Eze, that Mateta.
This could be the upset. Doing well. The big boy
Mateta,
front,
big Frenchman. This could be the upset of the weekend. No trust in United. Brighton at home, my boys are going berserk. One shot on goal.
You can get 100 to 1.
What's that?
Rashford a hat-trick.
Rashford, yeah. Boy, he'll be back soon. That's my tip. But I can't touch United. Even money Man United, a few of the boys have come on them already. It was a fluky result against Fulham. Not one corner away from home. I just cannot believe it. One corner at home against Brighton the week before. So I saw the corner market. Man United to have over 5.5 corners. I'm going under, but I think it was like 14 to 10. So that's my suggestion. I can't watch United. I think this guy's ruining the club. But anyway, that's just my opinion. But wouldn't be surprised if Palace get a point. Okay. Arsenal, Man City, Steve. How do you see it?
Yeah, could be a very interesting game. Obviously, Arsenal still without 1 or 2 players, missing Saka. Look, City had, Arsenal sort of rotated a bit last night because they knew that they were through. But with City, obviously had to play the big guns. Although having said that, City have got 1 or 2 of their new players who are effectively cup tied that couldn't play that will play. Yeah. I think there's going to be goals in this. I think it'll be an entertaining game. I've just got this sort of feeling we could be looking at like a 2-2. I think City will have a go. I think that, but if Arsenal cut through them, and show a bit of pace in the middle, then they could win it. But you just can't call what you're going to get from City at the moment. I fancy a draw. Yeah. It's not good enough for Arsenal. They need to win, but I'm not sure they will.
Well, I couldn't believe Man City to score 2 goals, 17 to 10. I just thought, wow, that's a big... They're better going forward than at the back. I like that Marmousa they signed. He runs in behind. And Man City to have over 4.5 corners, even money. I just thought those are 2 great bets. I think the booking too, after the last time, there was a bit of feistiness in that game with Haaland, I think it was Saliba. So bookings are as well. But my suggestion is Man City to score over 1.5 goals or at least 2 goals at 17 to 10. Steve, Chelsea, West Ham. I know it's fasty. Remember getting on the train with the West Ham guys, and if ever there was one club they hated, it was Chelsea. And when I asked the guy why, he said ever since Fat Frank left us, Frank Lampard, and went to Chelsea, that was it. I haven't been impressed with Chelsea of late.
Then they've got to dislike Man United because of Rio. They've got to the only good players left there.
A lot of players.
A lot of top players left West Ham, the Mugs.
Steve, West Ham, what do you think?
Look, away they tend to be playing better than they are at home. Yeah. But you'd still expect Chelsea to be too strong. I just got this sort of feeling. I mean, Chelsea, they came unstuck against City, but, they had in patches that they showed them up. I just think you're not sure we're going to get from West Ham. They're definitely stronger away than they are at home, because at home they're under a lot of pressure. But I think there'll be goals, but I think Chelsea will just come out on top.
Yeah, no doubt. Both teams to score over 2.5 goals. On to the Championship, Stephen. Big game Friday night. Lancashire Derby, Blackburn Preston. How do you see it?
Yeah, well, I mean, this was very feisty in the
I know,
game.
I was at the game.
To Deepdale with the player sent off. Event banned for the spitting incident, wasn't it? But look, I can see this. I can see them cancelling each other out. Blackburn, after a really bad run, have sort of come back with a win. Preston making themselves hard to beat. I can see this being a bit of a sort of a low scoring draw, potentially.
Yeah. Steve, I've got to disagree. The last time we played in the snow, I think it was 4-3. These fans, I sat with obviously the Preston guys. There's no bitterness between Preston and Blackburn. I think it's only about 10 minutes down the road. But this will be feisty. I think there is goals. Friday night, I think there is goals. I said I was at the last game, 0-0, 2 red cards. I think there were 9 bookings, tackles were flying. And afterwards they walked off arm in arm. So goals, Steve, 9.5 to 10. I think my boys can sneak a result. Oxford, Bristol City, Steve. Oxford on a bit of a roll, unbeaten at 8. Can they upset Bristol City? Yeah.
Well, they can do. I mean, I think they've surprised her. Gary Rowett, the new manager there, has done exceptionally well. Having seen, but Bristol are having a decent. The 2 of them, I was looking. They're in the top 6 in the full guide. Yeah. Oxford just above them. I think there'll be goals in this. I wouldn't be surprised if Bristol hold them, but I think that Oxford have really, because I think a lot of people thought they'd be one of the favourites to go straight back down, but they've really held their own. So, I think that Oxford, for me, either home win or a draw.
Yeah, just under even money, both teams to score. I think it's a good bet. Plymouth, who haven't won in the last 15 league games, against a team I fancy to get in the playoffs, and I think they will. Now they've got a decent manager in West Brom. 7 to 10, a good price, Steve?
Yeah, Plymouth got a surprising last-minute equaliser at Sunderland. Yeah. But as you say, they haven't won in 15. They've struggled at home where it was their fortress. West Brom have got to be looking at that and thinking, they can push on. So for me, away win. Yeah,
Tony Mowbray back in the game all day, West Brom. Watford, just never know what you're going to get for them bar goals at home against a team that does score goals, not Norwich City. How do you see it, Steve?
Yeah, well, Norwich have got Josh Sargent back after a bit of a layoff, and he came back and scored, and they had a big win. I've just got a feeling that Norwich might go there and get a result. Watford are starting to sort of fall away a bit at the moment and their home record, which was one of the best in the country, is no longer. So for me, I think it'll be close, but I just got a sneaking feeling Norwich might get this.
Yeah, I think there'll be goals in this. As you say, Watford lost their last 3. One was to Preston, and with Sargent back, I saw a couple of goals he scored the other day. So I don't blame you, Steve, but there'll definitely be goals. On to our second page, we've got Derby, Sheffield United. Derby having a nightmare recent run, lost their last 6, lost 7 of the last 8. Sheffield United, Steve, I watched their game last week. They got beat 3-0 by Hull City in the monsoon. I think they're going to rebound. I think 12 to 10 is at a bad price.
I think you're right. I think that was a bit of a shock result last week. But they're going to look at this and think, Derby are in free fall at the moment, as you say, 6 defeats in a row. Sheffield United, I think, will go there and get a result.
Yeah. Steve, Hull City, great result. You've got to think they'll be full of confidence. Even money against a Stoke City side who have only won 1 in 15. I know Mark Robbins has gone in there, but they let me down last week. Hull City, even money?
Yeah, that will be short, maybe. I think look, they've obviously turned the corner a bit, Hull, and it was a big win for them.
Yeah.
And I think they'll be favourites. But Mark Robbins' team won't be easy to beat. But as you say, they can't. They've drawn too many. They can't seem to turn them into wins. So for me, I think Hull will start as favourites.
Yeah, Hull in a draw for me. How many will Leeds put past Cardiff?
They should do. I mean, Cardiff have had a couple of good results recently, but Leeds should be too strong. Last year it was the first game of the season. Cardiff went there and got a creditable 2-2 draw.
That's right.
Leeds are on a run, especially at home, and I expect them to win that comfortably.
Yeah, over 2.5 both teams to score. No, it was 28-10. Leeds 3-0. What's the game against Burnley? Negative Burnley, your ex-manager. Never tried to score, but I got to fancy Leeds to get a result. Millwall QPR, London derby, Steve?
They won their last 2, Millwall.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. And QPR, top of the form guide.
Yeah.
Really playing well at the moment. Millwall have turned the corner a bit. 2 away wins. 2 good away wins. So I think this will be a good game. I can see it being all square.
Yeah.
But I think it's been an entertaining game. As you say, both teams are playing well at the moment.
Yeah, 11-10 I win both teams to score. Just on QPR, good mate to Paul and I, Neil Tweels-Horsman, big QPR man. He was at the game and they all had high hopes of sneaking into the playoff places. He said after they got beat last week, he said that's the end of the pipe dream, but I think they can get something at Millwall. Portsmouth, Burnley, Steve. Burnley don't concede. I think it's 9 goals they've conceded this year. But going forward, they're so negative, yeah?
Well, I think this is a game that they probably should look to try and get a result.
Yeah.
Portsmouth played during the week and
they got
lost at home to Millwall.
Yeah.
I would expect Burnley to get a result, but as you say, it won't be pretty. But they've only conceded 9 goals, and I think if they score first, I think they'll shut up shop and they'll win it.
Yeah, Burnley to win to 0 was 16-10. I had a look at that, so I was going to put it in my bets, but I just can't watch Burnley. Sheffield Wednesday versus Luton Town, Steve. Are Sheffield Wednesday good things?
Yeah, you would think so. I mean, based on sort of recent form, Luton having a shocking run.
Yeah.
And Sheffield Wednesday, good result last week. And I think, for me, they're clear favourites to win this.
Paul, a question. Luton's last 11 away league games. How many points?
Last 11 away league games, 6.
None. Lost all 11. So even money on form. Got a fancy Sheffield Wednesday. It's a thing that got relegated last year and they're third bottom in the championship. Steve, Swansea, Coventry City. I think there's goals in this game, but which way do you see it going?
Fat Frank.
Yeah, I mean, Coventry is, Frank's got them going at the moment.
Yeah,
They're having
he has.
a good run. And I think that, Swansea are very, I like Swansea. They play nice football, but they don't get the results.
Yeah.
I've got a feeling Coventry will definitely get something out of the game.
Yeah, another game I'm going goals. They won the last 3, Coventry. Swansea lost their last 3. So, as you say, Frank Lampard's got them going, but away from home, just never know with his teams. And last but not least, Monday night. Is it a Northeast derby, Middlesbrough, Sunderland?
It is, absolutely, yeah. I mean, it's, you've got the 3 big Northeast teams, Newcastle, Sunderland and Borough.
Okay.
So this is a big game. Look,
What about Carlisle?
Borough can't afford to lose this.
Yeah.
Carlisle's on the Northwest.
Thank you.
So I've got a feeling that they'll cancel each other out. I think it'll be a good game. Be a big, sellout crowd. Sunderland would have sold their allocation.
Yeah.
I think there'll be goals in this. Sunderland disappointing. Recently, they've drawn too many games. And they're just starting to sort of fall. They're just a few points starting to fall away. But the only thing is you don't know what you're going to get with Borough. One week they're hot, and next week they're not. So I think the draw is probably the most likely outcome.
Steve, all I can tell you, my Preston boys who beat them last week 2-1 said Middlesbrough's the best team that's come to Deepdale this season. And we've played all the top guns. They just couldn't finish against Preston, otherwise they would have won. But that's what they say. But I agree. I think it's going to be goals galore. Over 2.5 goals. I think it was even money. That's my suggestion. Steve, pressure time again. I need your best bet and value bet.
Yeah. So I'm going to go for Sheffield Wednesday. I just think that they're close to those playoffs, and with Luton losing, I probably jinxed it now, but losing 11 in a row, I fancy that to be 12. And actually, my value bet, I'm going to go for Norwich. I think that they started to score goals with Josh Sargent back. I think 18 to 10. I think it was a pretty good odds.
Yeah, I totally agree on your best bet, Steve. Even money. I think they were 11 to 10 this morning. I couldn't believe they drifted. I'm on a team in Spain, Getafe. They had a great result last week. Won 3-0 away from home. They play a bad Sevilla team. They were like 15, 16 to 10.
Get laughy.
Panel betters. But Steve, I know you're in last one standing. Just as well you never picked Spurs, otherwise you would have been gone. But
I know.
But anyway,
anyone but Spurs.
Anyone but
Spurs. Yeah.
Anyway, Steve, thank you very much.
All
We'll
right.
speak over the weekend.
Cheers. Talk to you soon.
Bye-bye,
Bye.
Steve.
Bye.
Right, Bunch, let's get straight on to PSL
Yeah,
fixtures.
call us back finally.
Finally back. And we start
fixtures.
Friday, 7:30.
Yanam Lazi, Paul.
Yeah.
If Richards Bay can't beat Magezi, these are the worst two teams in the league. 9 to 10 Richards Bay, but they don't score many goals, Paul. That's the only problem. It's hard to back a team, but of the two teams, got to fancy Richards Bay. Yesterday at the races, everyone in South Africa is Chiefs or Pirates. Yeah. And I've known, speaking to a few guys, said Pirates, and they said, listen, I'm going to tell you, Pirates man asked about Chiefs. They said, Chiefs haven't got their number 9 and they haven't got a goalkeeper, so we'll win easy. Chiefs boys, 4-1 Kaiser Chiefs, Paul. Crikey Moses in a local derby. That shows the difference between the two teams.
At the moment,
Paul, 12 to 10, both teams to score. That's my suggestion.
Yeah.
The draws, nine times out of 10 what happens in the big game, but of the two sides, definitely Pirates. Paul, Stellenbosch, Sekhukhune. Sekhukhune won 4 the last 6. I watched them beat Supersport. They're not a bad team. Steve's got his team well, but I just think it's got 21 to 10 written all over it, Paul. I like Polokwane, Paul. Hard to beat at home, unbeaten in 7 at home, even money. If I was having a bet, definitely even money, Polokwane. On to our second page.
I'm a Zulu,
another team, 18 to 10. Supersport, Paul, the last 6 away league games, they scored 1 goal. And that's when they won 1-0. I don't know what's happened with Gavin's team. Can't score. So another game, Paul, I'd love to know what price 0-0 is. It was 5-1 the other week, the 0-0 draw. I don't like watching the game.
Someone will toe one in, but
Paul, I hope so. Amazulu was struggling to score in Supersport. So that would be my suggestion. The draw at 19 to 10, or if you brave 5-1, I think it's 0-0. TS Galaxy, Cape Town City. Cape Town City, great start, but they've lost their last 2. They got knocked out the cup. TS Galaxy are hard to beat in Nelspruit, Paul, but other tight games.
Cape Town City aren't great away from home.
No, they fight Tinkler, but they won their first 2 games, but that was at home. Now you've got to go to Nelspruit, Paul, from the Cape. So I don't see TS Galaxy getting beaten. It's hard to see Sundowns, Paul.
4 to 10.
4 to 10, yeah. Just got to fancy Brazilians.
Tell me your bets now.
Yeah, Paul, we got the exotics before we go into the bets. And the first soccer 6, is Notts Forest win and draw at home against Brighton. I'm siding with Bristol City to avoid defeat at Oxford, and Norwich City win and draw at Watford. Got to find a banker, so I'm chancing Getafe to win at home against Sevilla. AC Monza in a desperation relegation battle, win and draw at home against Hellas Verona. And I'm siding with Augsburg to avoid defeat at St. Pauli, 192. On to our second soccer 6. I'm chancing Orlando Pirates to beat Kaiser Chiefs. The field in the Stellenbosch versus Sekhukhune game. I'm throwing the draw in with Liverpool and the draw at Bournemouth, bankering Everton to beat Leicester City. The field in the Ipswich-Southampton clash, and throwing the draw in Newcastle at home to Fulham, 216. On to the soccer 10. I'm bankering Orlando Pirates to beat Kaiser Chiefs. Stellenbosch win and draw at home against Sekhukhune. AC Monza win and draw at home against Hellas Verona. Stuttgart win and draw at home against Borussia Mönchengladbach. And siding with Augsburg to avoid defeat at St. Pauli. Onto the second page, I'm going Liverpool win and draw at Bournemouth. Everton to beat Leicester City. Ipswich Town win and draw at home against Southampton. Newcastle win and draw at home against Fulham. And Polokwane City to beat Chippa United, 256. Onto the difficult soccer 13, I'm going Aston Villa win and draw at Wolves. Liverpool to beat Bournemouth, Everton to beat Leicester, Newcastle win and draw at Fulham, Ipswich Town win and draw at home against Southampton, Sheffield United to beat Derby County, Hull City win and draw at home against Stoke City. Onto the second page, Queen's Park Rangers win and draw at Millwall, 3 bankers. Leeds to beat Cardiff City, Burnley to beat Portsmouth, and Luton Town to beat, and Sheffield Wednesday to beat Luton Town, ending up with 2 away win and draws. Coventry City and Leicester City, and Stockport County versus Leyton Orient. On to our budgies bets for the weekend, and I'm going Everton to beat Leicester, Brentford to beat Tottenham, and over 2.5 goals in both teams to score. Ipswich, Southampton, and Arsenal, Man City, 3,000 to 200. My team goals only, I'm going Newcastle, Everton, Man City, and Brentford, all to score over 1.5 goals.
But one
2,500 to 200.
Everton haven't been able to score goals.
I know, but
they went through a porous Spurs defence, and now you're getting them from one. They can't get it, Budge.
Well, I'm going to back a guy that scored 14 to 1 any time, Tarkovsky from a corner, because he's big and strong. That's how they'll score set pieces. So that's my team goals, 2,400 to 200.
All right.
Onto the championship, I'm going Sheffield United to beat Derby County, Sheffield Wednesday to beat Luton Town, and over 2.5 goals in the Leeds Cardiff City and Middlesbrough Sunderland fixture, 2,900 to 200.
That's a nice bet.
Both teams to score sides are Oxford Bristol City, Watford Norwich City, Millwall QPR, and Swansea Coventry City, 2,400 to 200. I've done away with our scorers, which I did last week, but strangely enough arrived. So I'm going back to Spain. I'm going Getafe to beat Sevilla, Girona to beat Las Palmas on Monday, and over 2.5 goals. Couldn't believe it was 12 to 10. Atletico Madrid and Mallorca and Espanyol Real Madrid, 2,900 to 200. Now, Collis King. 6 or nix. So I'm going Everton to beat Leicester, Brentford to beat Tottenham, Sheffield Wednesday to beat Luton Town, Leeds United to beat Cardiff City, Inter Milan to beat AC Milan, the big game of the weekend, and Girona to beat Las Palmas, 6,900 to 200.
Excellent, Budge. Well done. You like some of those bets. The one irks me, but last one standing. Goes big this weekend. You look at the fixtures, Budge. It looks very tough.
It is, but so when I'm going for Everton and Brentford,
You're
Paul, that's how I see it.
They've got to win, not
They've got to win.
They've got to win. Well, let's hope those girls keep going. Thanks very much to all the girls who've entered this time. And until next time, stay on side.